Lally ho, friends, and welcome to oh my god, Kupo Quest. I for 60,
Whatever show this is.
61? I couldn't remember the number. Oh no. Whatever. Welcome to a very high episode count number of Kupo Quest. We're having a couple technical difficulties with Izzy, so they may or may not be able to join us. We hope they'll be able to hop in here soon, but if not, we miss you and we'll hopefully not get your character killed, but might use your spells if we have to. So, let's see. What did we do last time? We met with yet another one of the fascinating royalty of Fantasia. This time being the Queen of Alexandria, Queen Braun, who, as Steiner had put it, is the loveliest of all in the land. Um, I won't re-describe her, but you can Google Queen Braun from Final Fantasy IX if you'd like. So they brought their issues, their concerns about everything going on in Fantasia to her, and especially the Empire's, while they're on a current ceasefire, their need for expansion, what they're up to, and she seemed apathetic at best. She did agree to send some people to try to collect the Marlborough bounty for you, but the cut was she wasn't really sold on the cut necessarily. But as far as actively opposing any kind of imperial spread, she was very much hands off, did not want to get involved. This is when her daughter, Garnett, made herself known. Well, she was spotted by Bascat and Izzy. And in true petulant teenager fashion, really let her mom have it, kind of stood up to her and basically called her out on all of her bullshit. But didn't really amount to much. So Bailey was not able to attend all this, by the way, because he smelled way too bad,
Oh,
so he has no idea what's
stinky
going on.
boy.
But we had a couple other things, right? So let's see. Izzy met with Kryl, and they may have stumbled upon a way to ignite the spark within those that do not have innate magic. And, there was a bunch of different things that got tossed around with that. But I think the one thing that no one really maybe picked up on that I was really excited about is one person in particular, a certain love interest of Izzy's, might also like a little bit of magic. And Izzy also finally declared his love, or I don't know, his interest in him. So Taurus, I'm talking about. Let's see, and then finally, I know this is going on a little long, but a lot happened last time. Ava did meet with a representative of the Golden Grin in the town of Alexandria. Kind of got a little bit of information about a movement that's going on to dethrone Queen Braun, and invited him to participate, but he was, he said, I've got other things to do. So, but I think all in all, that is about where we left off. I would like to back up just a little bit though, and see what Bailey might have been up to during this entire thing, since he was barred from going into Queen Braun's room because he smells like shit, because he currently is the only one that has not been able to cleanse the stench of the Marlborough. And I'm done.
Stinky
You can
boy.
talk now.
No, basically, after I was so heavily mocked with a horrible British accent by Izzy, which is fine, I got him back anyway. I didn't watch the last 5 minutes of the episode because I thought it was cringe. So,
Wow.
I just
Me?
all the
Wait,
like
was I cringe?
no, just the whole affection and stuff like I don't fuck with that shit. I'm like, no, I can't. Even in books, I'm like, I'm just gonna skip 2 pages and hope it's over. Like, I
Where are
can't
the
handle
war
it.
crimes?
It's
This isn't war crimes.
pissing.
It's so cringe to me. I'm like, okay, cool, yep, you're happy. Um, no, so Bailey would have just kind of left and probably would have like tried to keep to himself. Obviously, with the stench, it would be hard to try and find something to kind of fix it. But eventually, he probably would have ended up at one of the inns, um, and would basically just be like, "I know I smell. I no one is helping me. I need to clean. This is bad." I smell like shit. And would just be like offering like his services either like as a researcher, as a worker, or something.
Oh, they don't make
Um,
you pay for this. They just directly point you back to the back alley bath.
yeah,
They're like,
fair.
I don't need any payment. I just need you to get out. Don't come back until you're clean.
Charisma works again. No, I'd just be desperately finding a bath or something, and I am scrubbing
Okay.
the fur.
Oh yeah, you have fur. Oh
Yeah,
no, that doesn't help at all.
I'm a Hrothgar.
Soap and water will help a little bit for, skin, but the stench is like
Yeah,
embedded in your fur. Uh, yeah, you don't really
I
notice much of a
am.
difference after scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing because you were inside this thing too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ever smell
I got the
something
second
and
everything.
then like a day later you still feel like you can smell it? You're like, I feel like the
Oh
scent is
god.
stuck in my nostrils.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You're probably going to be smelling this for a
I
good
have
long
like
while.
I have one bar of soap in one hand, and I have mage hand with a bar of soap in the other hand, and I am just like scrubbing, like I am exfoliating my goddamn fur.
You have dual wield soap and mage hand soap.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, I am going hard. Like it got to the point where I was considering banishing myself to another plane to try and find something to help, but I'm like, that'd be fucking stupid. Like that'd be a dumb idea.
Above,
Like that one
above.
part of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs where they're like washing Grumpy and they got his like beard and like two
Yeah.
hands.
Oh yeah.
Scrubbing.
So above table, Easy did pick you up something that would help with that, but at the time Bailey has no idea. So quite
I got
discouraged
no idea.
after your 3 soap bath, where you
Mm,
just, I mean, okay, so while we're speaking about Disney movies, you come back around to the front of the tavern. Have you seen Beauty and the Beast recently when they give the Beast a bath and he gets out and it's like
Yeah.
your fur is just
Hilarious.
sticking up. You look like a Pomeranian at this point.
yeah.
A very smelly Pomeranian, but you don't smell any
Oh,
better.
wet fur.
I
Ew,
am
it's probably worse.
I'm
Oh
even
yeah.
like I've even got soap still in my fur because I'm like it's not helping.
Sir, I had to say this, but we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone, and I just can't. I can't let you in.
How do you think I feel?
I imagine that some point you'll go nose blind to it, but the rest of us haven't. So,
It's a bit of a problem.
I mean, there's
I'm
there's
going
plenty of
to.
shitty taverns that would probably not bat an eye. I'm sure they've had worse smells than that in there. But this is not one of those establishments, sir. I
I
need
am
you to.
going to go back and just water, get as much of the soap out. I'm just going to be wet fur, and I'm just going to start like on repeat every hour casting prestidigitation to try and do something.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so with that, we will catch back up to the rest of the party. Everybody kind of gathering back together at the tavern or wherever you want to meet. But I, oh yeah, 'cause, I mean Izzy was there, so I guess it makes sense that everybody would head back to the inn you were staying in. And you have a moment
Just
to
outback.
converse amongst yourselves if you'd like, or
Unclean, unclean.
uh, I will say before we do that, above table, Fastcat, you would have had time to go back and pick up your weapon. It's now been outfitted with the Fyra materia, so this is the second tier. It gives you the following benefits. Okay, you can cast the Fire Bolt cantrip at will. The 2-hit ability of this will equal that of your sword. So whatever your sword is, you will have that to hit. So like if your sword's like +7 to hit, your Fire Bolt is +7 to hit. Does that make sense?
Nice.
Since you're not
Yeah.
actually a caster, but it's a part of that weapon. So that's how that will happen. On a melee attack with this weapon, it deals an additional 2d6 fire damage. And once per day, you can cast Fireball with a DC
Oh,
save
ho,
of 15 once per day,
All right.
once per long rest.
Damn.
You're gonna have to write that down for me.
I will write it down, and I'll do the magic item in D&D Beyond when it's not the 4th of July long weekend. I'm not out of town, right? So that'll be done. I promise.
You'll have a whole week. I'll be out next week, so
Well, there you go. There you go. So just that. So you will have one cast of that. DC is 15. DC save of 15. So not great, but you're a fighter, so get over it. But but still. And then there is more above that. There is a Faraga. And I'd like to point out that he did mention that you could probably outfit this for one additional materia slot.
Mhm.
And I will just say this too, because you joined kind of after we first introduced it. You can outfit certain pieces of armor with materia slots as well, and the same materia has slightly different benefits when
I'm
inserted
sure
in
Sid would have
armor.
done that for me if I had found him.
That's exactly what Sid was going to do for you had you found him. Yes, that is exactly what.
funny. Holy
Yes,
shit.
that was the plan. Sid was going to outfit your
Imagine how
Oh,
much
that's
easier
cool.
that Marlboro would have been.
It would have been
Ah,
It
that
wouldn't have
2D
been as fun. I
yeah,
don't think.
the
that's
2d6
true.
would have added up for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Also,
That's funny.
I think it had a weakness to fire, if I remember. So yeah, it would have made a huge difference.
This is great.
So you do manage to pick that up. It's really nice. So the hole in your sword has now been filled with this it's this like bright crimson materia, which you've never seen before. Actually, it's still this technology is not so widespread that it's made it into mainstream use at this point. In fact, it was developed in Mysidia, and it's only just now starting to kind of spread out. But when you look at it's just a little sphere that's been inserted and fits perfectly into your weapon, that little hole that was in your weapon. But it kind of moves and dances. It has like a red smoke inside it, and it almost flickers like flames. It's pretty cool to look at.
Shiny. Love
But
it. Also, it's a morning star, not a sword, by the way.
why do I keep saying it's a sword? I know why I keep saying
You
it's
know
a
what's
sword.
gonna be great is
I know.
it's a morning star, so it probably is gonna look like a big fireball on a stick
Yeah.
when I'm
Well,
wielding
actually, yes. That's great. I
it.
I keep saying that because in my head, where you made like a Galka frontliner, I think of Grunther a lot.
Grunthor.
I think of the old like character art that
The
he
old
had
Sir
done up.
Gunther.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry. Morningstar. Get it in my head. Also, I'm in 3 campaign now. The details are starting to twist. All right. So anyway, you guys have had a chance to get back together. If you'd like to converse amongst yourselves, if you want to share any information with Bailey, we can recap it, whatever, and then decide what you want to do next.
Bailey, do you still have that container that you got of the Marlboro stink? the
The Marlboro sack? Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I don't think I have it on me. I think it's in
in the
my
ship.
room on the ship,
Oh.
and I've wrapped it in more stuff to try and just. It actually no, knowing me with the ball, it is just constantly wrapped. Like the balls might be like this big instead of it being like this big because it's just wrapped in stuff, and it is on the top of the ship in the open air to try and not stink out the ship.
I love that.
But
Man,
it's not on me, no.
I would love to throw that at the queen.
Oh,
Just-
fuck.
I hate her so much.
So I assume you didn't have a good time.
No,
Well.
she was not listening.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose not every piece of royalty is going to listen. Some are probably going to be a bit more sympathetic to the other side.
That's the thing. She wasn't even sympathetic to the other side. She just cared
Oh,
about
so
her
she
side.
was just fucking useless. Gotcha.
I'm sure she'll be sympathetic to the end of a blade by the end of this.
Well, if what's said is to be believed, it seems that perhaps Noctis might end up carrying that out. So I suppose, Bedcat, if you want to do it, I would recommend not, because that would be a terrible idea. But I mean, you may as well beat him to the punch.
That wouldn't be honorable. She probably couldn't even hold the sword.
Oh, gross. I still smell, and it's not helping. So if you have
At this
any
point,
new
Izzy
soap,
does pop up and mention that he got this from Kryle, and basically gives you instructions on how to use it. So he will hand over.
immediately.
And I try not to take items from characters, but he only specifically got that for you, so I feel like it's safe. So
Bezcat does not want to be a smelly little kitty anymore.
okay.
Uh,
So Bailey takes that and just are you right there in the room just starts shampooing up, or what are you gonna do?
um, using Mage Hand, I'm like able to keep everything in place and like slowly wash my body in that.
Okay, it kind of lathers like a shampoo. So when you get
Oh,
it on, it
that would
starts to
feel
lather
so good.
up.
You see his eyes do the thing, and his like legs start shaking a little bit. I'm like, oh, that's so good.
Twitch, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone gets roll for uncomfortable.
Oh, boy.
Not 20, baby.
No, I'm like just putting it into my hair and that, and then I think the only like I'd still have pants on, but I feel like just to try and not stink up all my clothes, I feel like his coat, like his like the Mysidia robe that he has that he wears like as the professor, and that is like just kind of in the corner somewhere, and I'm like, I will deal with that in a second.
He's
And like
down
as
to
I'm
his
doing it,
boxers. He
no,
just
I'm
takes
wearing
both.
pants.
He takes his hands, he just pulls them out, and you just see the mage hand slowly disappear down his pants. His eyes roll back in his head. He doesn't smell bad anymore, though.
Everybody turns around.
God, I'm glad the kids are back in Balam.
Everything else. And then I feel like if there's like even just a little bit of like the soap suds left, I feel like the mage hand goes over and starts like rubbing at the robes and everything to try and just get the stench out of it as much as I can.
Yeah, the potion's doing. I mean, you can already notice a difference. Those of you that are in the room, you will probably still need to rinse it off. I mean, you can't really get it all out just scrubbing it, but the
Yeah,
smell at least has been the potion's doing its job.
good.
As we finally cleansed our auras of the Marlboro. It only took like 3 episodes.
Yeah, right.
So, I guess the question becomes now, where do we go from here?
I
I
know.
think we have to leave, right?
I know. I need to sleep at some stage. I'm getting tired after all of this. Uh, do you? So what is the plan? Obviously, Alexandria is a bit of a bust.
Yes,
But
I
are we
think.
still planning on going to the Norvalen region, like the foresty
Yes, I
one?
think the plan is we're in like one of the rooms, right? We're not just
You're in one of the
talking out in the
rooms.
tavern.
You're in one of the
Okay.
rooms, and I am going to say that Taurus is probably there, since he was with
Yeah.
Izzy when you returned.
That's fine.
So
Are they holding hands?
Unless you want him to leave, you could have asked him to
Oh no,
wait.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
okay.
That's fine.
Are they holding hands? They're totally holding hands, aren't they?
They're holding hands.
It's canon. They're holding hands.
I think
Sure.
Ace did say last episode they would be holding hands anytime
Yep,
they can
that's-
be.
He
Exactly.
did, yes.
Because I
So
did remember hearing him saying something about that.
Damn,
Everybody
I'm
give
a
me
good psychic. I didn't even watch that part.
everybody give me an insight check.
Ooh, I'm good at those.
25?
Oh, that was a little,
I am not.
25.
yes, you're really good at those.
Whoa.
6?
Bazcat, I don't know if you're even listening to this conversation. But distracted by your new shiny jewel in your morning star.
Shiny.
I will say, Bailey, you specifically noticed that Taurus looks elated, just so happy. And I mean, Ace or Izzy's still a little bit harder to read, but he seems happy, but he's Izzy. But Taurus, it's almost hard for him to hide the just the satisfaction in his eyes as they're just sitting there, and he's listening intently, but also somewhere else, just in his head.
Bailey probably just recognizes the same look that they're giving each other and the same elation as like when he and Shin were like starting to get those feelings and stuff.
Similar.
He doesn't say anything. He's just like, I know that look.
He will, though, just kind of let go of Izzy's hand and just kind of stand up and walk over to you all. Is it still okay if I come along for at least a portion of the journey? I know that we'd spoken of that previously, but if things have changed, I understand.
As far as I'm concerned, you're allowed. We're heading back to Bodan next. So
Balam, okay.
as
I
long as
don't
you're fine
see
with
why
going
not.
there.
Okay. I think that would be good. You have friends and family in Balam, yes?
Yes, yeah, Bodan is our side-by-side allies in this war. We're friends with the presidents, vice presidents, people in
I
the
have some
military.
books to return.
Okay.
You didn't buy those?
Oh, I bought all of them, but I think it's a bit weird that I'm walking
Why?
around with the war tactics of Balaam on a ship. Should probably return that one at least. And I'm missing that fucking Spices of Spira. I want that book. I bought it. That was the main one I wanted. And it didn't work because I was reading it when I teleported and it just fell on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
I
Unlike
want that book.
I was trying to remember. I was like, what did I do to that? I remembered taking it away from you, but I couldn't remember how.
I had to Google. I Googled whether Mage Hand comes through when you teleport or not, and it doesn't. Because it's
Yeah,
an
it's not a
instant and
creature.
you're like technically more than 60 feet
Yeah.
away from it. And I'm like, I wanted that book.
Yeah.
Oh, we're heading all the way down there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trip.
So I'll hop over real quick so I can show the map on the stream.
Yes, thank you.
We should have just stayed in calm.
So up here in Alexandria, yeah, calm. Just the end goal is to come over here to the Norvalen region, as this is, according to the thumbnail, Norvalen region arc episode 6. But instead, we're gonna go back down here, which is perfectly fine. But yes, it is a journey back down here, even with the airship. Now, you do have a couple options. You could risk the teleport, right? You do know the teleport circle here, so that might be a safer way to do it. I believe Izzy has access to teleportation circle. And I believe I do believe he also said
an item associated with the place is a guaranteed success, right?
I believe so. I believe so. I can look
Think
up the
about
exact
that.
rules, but I also think
Don't
that
worry about that.
he drew a
I can tell you
circle
what it is.
on the ship, right? God, I wish
Yeah.
I wish they were here.
Back to Balam, though.
Permanent circle is a 0 to 100. Associated object is 0 to 100. And then very familiar is when it starts getting a bit funny.
Okay, well you've got a permanent circle to Balam. And
Cool.
I'm pretty sure because it's out in that field, and I know that he mentioned taking a look at it. And I'm pretty sure that
Just
he created a circle in the ship.
The item is like a magnet that says "I heart Balam" from like a gift shop.
Yeah.
I have the books as well. Like I've got the books as well.
If Nozak were still here, I'd make the joke that he just whips out Squall's like Keyblade, like, look what I took. But doesn't fit any of the existing characters.
So I took this.
Except for maybe Lionheart, but she's not over there. So.
Oh. So we're flying to Balam next. Okay.
Well, so yeah, that's your options, but I mean, it depends on you can get back and forth relatively easy with a teleportation, I believe, if you wanted to go that route.
Oh, is that right? So is the plan that we're dropping the ship off in Balam and then teleporting back to Alexandria and then walking to Feymarch?
Okay.
Yep. What
Yeah,
I
okay.
was thinking is that we were going
Gotcha.
to. I'm going to ask members of the Grin to do it instead of the Queen to see if we can get a better split. And because fuck the Queen. But what the plan was is while the transport was going to and from Lindblom to collect the bounty, we were going to drop the airship off at Balam to keep it safe, and then teleport with us and 4 chocobos to meet with the bounty to collect it, and
Okay.
then go to the Norvalen region with chocobos.
Perfect.
I could
And
do
that's a
that.
great plan. The only thing to keep in mind with that is there's just a small amount of teleportation risk because you will be going somewhere without a permanent circle. So that's the only thing I would caution with that plan. But to be honest, it's still a very solid plan, especially since
This
you've
is
mentioned wanted to dock the ship somewhere else.
while it's in my mind, and I know I'll forget later. Technically speaking, would I be able to use the Marlboro sack as an associated object to the hill? Fuck!
No, no, that creature's now dead, and the hill was the
Damn it.
Marlboro, so there's not actually a hill there.
Okay.
So
I tried.
nice try, nice try.
We're trying to get creative here.
Hey, I like it. I like it. We've already had
Play in
one.
this space with us.
Oh, I'm playing in the
That was
space. Don't
funny.
worry. Speaking of that, never mind. I'll do that later. Continue.
Right. So if we're going there, then the sooner the better, right?
Yes, I have a friend that wants to meet up tonight, so if we can, I think maybe leaving in the morning. I want to talk to them and see if they can deliver the bounty for a better split. And I think the guild going to them would be better instead of going to Queen.
Right. Did Ava mention to everybody in the room about his conversation with Beatrix, or are you keeping that to yourself for now until we're like out of the city?
I'll probably keep that to
Cool.
that one for now.
Right. Well, I smell a lot better, so I'm going to bed.
Mhm.
Because I just want to sleep. I have been rigorously washing my fur for like 2 hours. I am exhausted. Mentally and physically.
For roughly 1 entire week, I've been washing my fur.
I am going to bed. And I'm going to not have to vomit in my sleep. And it's going to be glorious. And he is walking out into his room.
Okay.
Bailey is zonking the fuck out for like 12 hours.
Okay. As you leave, Izzy does just mention that him and Taurus are going to just spend some time together. They take hands again and then go back down to the common room to grab a bite. So that leaves Ava and Bazcat alone in the room with, I remembered, your Drake, who is curled up in the corner at this point, slowly kind of drifting off. Grown-ups are talking, and they've just kind of decided to curl up and go to sleep. They can be roused if you want to take them with you anywhere, but otherwise they're kind of just napping.
And Bazket, I don't know how sleepy you are, but I rested when we were up in the mountains, so I don't need to sleep tonight. So nobody else up to doing some shenanigans. Or did we lose Bazcat?
Oh no, I don't know.
The camera's frozen.
Oh God,
Bazcat, you're like talking to them, and then just
Bazket! I
you
don't know
hear
how tired you are.
you hear a slight snore come out of Bazcat.
Okay, yep, all right. Well, come on,
If you do-
Stephanie, let's go.
I'll probably say if you do need help, you can call on Bailey. But like, it's up. I'm just
It's all right.
gonna end up going to bed.
I have a dragon dog with me.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay. I'm sorry, what did you
The
name it
bestest
again?
of doggos.
I was blanking.
Frumethni. It's
Frumeth-
Glacic, or it's Icelandic for elemental.
Okay, I need to get back at.
Love
I need
you.
to get back at the. I've slacked so much on keeping up with at the beginning I was doing the Scabard really well, and then I just had so
Mm.
much going on. I haven't updated it. I really need to because I'm getting to where these webs of interconnected characters are starting to be. Wait, what did I do with that again? I really need to. I really need to go back through. Oh, let's see. Now I get to see if my
Uh-oh, do
two-player
we
still
have a
works.
two-person scene
I think
from
I
a while
do.
ago?
We do.
From the
Boom!
Windshine episode?
There
There
was
you
like I
go.
think there was like 1 or 2 sessions in a row where you and I were just the only ones.
I think it was, yeah. Oh, we're back. We're back. No big deal.
I changed it to my hotspot on my phone, so it
Mm.
should be more solid tonight.
Cool.
Okay. So just we'll retcon this a little bit. Ava was about to go out. He was talking to you. You froze, so I just said you kind of drifted off.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
do you want to do
I
here?
heard that part.
Okay.
For sure, that's what Bazcat like put his feet up and like crossed them and was like pretending to listen to the conversation, but was just like,
Mm.
Alcohol.
It is pretty late. All right. Yep. Well.
Okay. So where are you heading, Ava?
I didn't ask her where like our little headquarters is, so that's a little unlucky. She said she was gonna find me, so if I leave, that does make it pretty hard to find me.
just start walking around the streets.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
He's cooking.
I have 4 classes. Surely I can do something.
Surely.
Let's see. I will. Oh, mark off wall of water because I used that last episode. I am going to. I'm gonna try and find our hideout. Fuck it, or like our little where the Grinners meet.
Okay.
If we have a little HQ or something. I doubt it's anything crazy, but
Give me an investigation check, and I'll give you advantage on it
Ooh.
because you do know what you're looking
Okay.
for.
Oh, natural 20 for 25.
Natural
Let's go.
20. Okay. Perfect. Oh, this will be fun. So you are looking around the city for a while, and you remembered she had mentioned she'll find you, but you've got some time to kill. And you start looking around, poking in, asking just random people some very innocent sounding questions, but they have a hidden meaning to see, and you don't really stumble across anybody that seems to pick up on the things that you're saying. But eventually you do find the telltale sign, and it's very, very, it's always hard to see, just the little grin. It's always just carved into something, or it's on some kind of sign or something that kind of indicates that the actual headquarters is nearby. And it's always so hard to see for the average eye that it wouldn't actually give anything away. But you do find it. A little grinning sign on a little swinging sign above a local doctor's office.
Okay. I will. Is it? Oh, are there any lights on inside? Does it look like it's open, or does it seem like it's closed and locked for the night?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. 19.
Okay. The windows are dark, but if you're squinting, kind of looking in, you can see a small candle flickering in maybe a back room or something. So you think someone's in there. It does seem to be closed for the night, but not empty.
Okay. I'll do a couple notes of our song as a knock on the door.
Okay. You do that. You can hear just the shuffling of someone pushing back a chair, walking out, and you see right beside the door there's like a window with some like curtains that kind of get pushed aside. The curtains close, and then you hear something being dragged up behind the door, and then some more noise, and then a door unlocking, and then they come down, they push that stool away, and they kind of peek out, and you see this small Lalafell wearing this interesting yellow hood. And I don't believe you've met Kryle yet, have you? That was only Izzy's met them.
I assume Izzy and Taurus would probably have mentioned her in small talk, maybe.
In acquiring
Or
the
mentioning the doctor's
potions,
place?
like the water to clean, probably.
Based on the roll, I'm going to say that, yeah, I mentioned, they didn't go into like, they mentioned they got it from a doctor and all that stuff, but I don't think they would have gone into like, she looked exactly like this. Because I don't know,
Okay.
Izzy might do that. That does seem a
Sure.
little Izzy, but
Fair, yeah. Oh yeah, she was a Lalafell. She had a white overcoat with a black top hat, and she.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, she has this. So she has this yellow hood. She still has up. It has little cat ears on it. Excuse me. I'm closed.
I'm just gonna pull out the necklace that has the grinning face and say, "I was hoping I might find some friends here."
She kind of looks you up and down. I suppose I could see you if it's actually an emergency. Come on in. She opens the door wider for you, and as you kind of step in, she looks both ways and then shuts it behind her. You're new here. I don't recognize you.
Ah, yes, I flew in on the only working airship in Fantasia currently. Not to, but yes, I met with the Queen earlier.
Do you happen to know? Do you happen to know an Izzy?
Oh yeah, I know Izzy.
I thought so. You have a lingering smell of Marlboro. I don't think most people would notice, but just I wondered if you were associated with them. Oh, yeah. She
Oh yes,
immediately relaxes. Oh, well, in that case, any friend of Izzy's is definitely a friend of mine, and you didn't know the knock, and you have the badge, but you can never be too careful. How did you
that's
find
very true.
us?
I'm very good at what I do. I'm the ambassador of Cornelia and servant of Queen Sarah right now.
I see. Have you met Beatrix then?
Yes, I was not necessarily hoping to find her here actually, but
Well, you did actually. If you'd like to come on back.
oh, all right, yeah. Can my dragon thing come? He's very friendly.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh, okay.
18. Okay. It doesn't bite.
Not unless I tell it to, which I won't.
Fine by me. It turns around and just starts walking back. Could you lock the door? I don't want to get the stool back out.
Ooh, yes, and I will pull out my lock of trickery and slam it on it.
I need to get one of those. Anyway, this way, thank you very much. So she goes back, and she kind of goes back into this really tiny room. You follow her back in there, and this is where you think you saw the light coming from. And she goes over and goes up to the back wall where she has this bookcase. And then she just starts tapping the spines of certain books in just this seemingly random order. And then when she's done with that, she just places her hand on one book and then speaks one single passphrase, which you have picked up before. It's a passphrase that you've used. And actually, I'm going to ask you, what would be a passphrase that you think would be commonly used throughout the Golden Grin? Put you on the spot.
Fuck. Let's see.
She speaks it in Elvish, though.
Let's go with. May fortune smile upon you.
I love it. As she does that, the bookcase itself starts to glimmer, and then the illusion fades away, and you see a set of stairs that go down into a sublevel of this place.
Oh shit! Izzy needs to learn how to do that.
I'm going to stay up here because I do have some paperwork to finish up. Quite a lot of patients today. But if you need me, give me a yell. I know that Beatrix is down there with some others, but I'm sure she'd be very interested to see that you found this place on your own.
All right, yeah, thank you.
And tell Izzy I said hi, and I really, really hope that that potion works for his friend. And I'm glad that you got something for yourself. Unless did he give you the potion?
Oh no, it was for our friend. I
Oh.
had. Does Alexandria? I'm not asking her. I'm asking Wolf. Does
Okay.
Alexandria, or at least do I know if Alexandria worships a specific icon?
Alexandria specifically, no. Their geographic location is so far from each of the individual um individual crystals that they don't have like an ingrained religion. So you actually get quite a decent mix. Even some that are still followers of Bahamut, which is the main religion of the empire. Just more of a less of an extreme view of Bahamut, but
Okay.
and then they also have a much higher population of secular folk as well.
Okay. I'll flip my hand and turn my thief gloves invisible, showing the symbol of Garuda and Leviathan. I'll just say, yeah, the divine waters cleans smells pretty good.
Ah, I see. Yes, I didn't mean to offend when I said with the smell. It's just that it's part of the lingering magic. I can smell it.
Oh no,
Others won't be able
medical
to.
shit.
Yeah, it's. I just didn't want you
Your
to
many
think
years
that
of
you
expertise.
stink. That was rude. I
Oh
probably
no,
should have said
you're
that,
good.
but okay, perfect. Anyway, tell Izzy I said hi, and again, I hope the potion is working for them. And whatever you did,
Oh yes, it did.
you do smell good for most people.
Thank you. I think I'll go downstairs.
Okay. Yeah, that was actually going to be a little bit of a secret that she was actually part of the Grin, but I couldn't natural 20, I couldn't not give it to you. So, definitely couldn't let that one go by. Okay. You make your way down and as soon as you step through the barrier, you immediately hear noise. The part of this illusion spell must be some kind of silencing spell as well. So as soon as you step onto the stairs, you start to hear music and laughing and people chatting. As you make your way down the stairs, there's a nice tavern-like area that's down here. People are, but it's not so rowdy like a normal tavern. Most people seem to be like gathered together, having conversations. They seem to be plotting, planning, talking. As you make your way down the stairs, everyone stops to look at you. Ava, is that you?
Hello.
I know you too well.
I believe I said I would find you.
That you did, but surprise here. I mean, you did find me. Technically, you saw me
Well,
first.
I'll have to say that's rather commendable. I've never actually known anyone to find this place unaided before. Come and have a seat.
Thank
I
you.
was just discussing you, actually.
Oh, hopefully all good things, or mostly good things.
Mostly, for sure. She kind of gives you a little smirk. She goes as you approach the table. She's sitting there with two other individuals. One of them is a human man who looks like he's probably in his mid-30s or something. He's gruff, looks like a fighter type, possibly. He could go, could go either way, fighter or like ranger. Definitely a good with swords, kind of up close combatant. Just kind of sitting back. He's chewing on something, some tobacco or something like that. Allow me to introduce you to Marcus. This is one of my lieutenants here in town. Definitely helps with, I don't know, spreading the word. That's what you've been doing lately, Marcus? He just kind of smirked. I guess you could call it that, yeah. The other person is quite an interesting-looking individual, and at first you're not even sure what they are, to be honest. You look over, and this person is just kind of sitting there, and they are eyeing you. They're just definitely sizing you up, looking you up and down. Give me a perception check.
All right.
You are blue bolting me so fucking hard right now, Wolf.
27.
I want you to know this.
Even with 27, you have no idea what race this person is. They have longer ears, that of an elf, though they have a snout that comes out, makes them seem to be more. Oh, they've got like fur. They look almost rodent-like. They're wearing like a red hat, and they have this big spear that's kind of set up next to them that's just propped against the table. And this is my other associate, Freya. She's rather new to the organization. She doesn't say a lot, but she gets the job done when you call on her. Isn't that right, Freya? She just kind of eyes her and then eyes you again. Doesn't say anything. The more you look at this person, you're kind of having Nozak flashbacks here. Because you've never seen anybody that looks like this. They literally kind of look like a big rat. And actually, what'd you get, a 27? Just as you go to sit down, you even notice that they have like a tail that's coming out, kind of wrapping around the bottom of the chair. Never have you seen anybody of this particular race.
Interesting. Okay. Do they have any garb, any symbolism anywhere on them?
As far as symbolism, no. The garb they're wearing looks like they seem to love red, decked out in red. They wear a nice tunic that's red, kind of matches the hat that they wear. The hat, by the way, has cutouts for their ears to come out of.
Yeah.
And then they're wearing just like some simple brown trousers. But as far as iconography, no, none of that. Nothing particularly stands out.
All right.
Freya just picks up their drink, swirls it, takes a drink, which is also weird because they have that kind of snout, so it's different. It's different. Well, we were just discussing what to do about Queen Braun, and your name came up. I was just giving them a little bit of an overview that you had met with the Queen recently. Recap on how that went.
Yeah, yep.
I also mentioned I tried to recruit you to our cause, but you had other things to do. She gives you just kind of a teasing. She's not really trying to be an ass. She's just kind of teasing you. But what brings you here tonight? I assume since you sought us out, you had something you'd like to talk about.
Well, I have an idea. I initially made this offer with the Queen, but so much of a burden on her and her community in the rebuild, I figure she probably won't mind if I send it elsewhere.
The rebuild? The Queen's not doing anything for the rebuild. Everything being done out there is being done. She's not paid for anything. You think she opens her coffers to us? No. The Queen has not paid for a single dime of anything. That's all been done by the workers, by the people that live there. That's why it's taking so long.
Well, I might have a way to speed it up quite a bit. The Empire has a bounty on Marlborough for at least 20,000 gil when we last saw it. My group is definitely not allowed in Lindblum and will easily get caught. However, they probably don't know who most of you are or any of our allies are. We can get a caravan going, a cart, put a couple of us armed for the road in case there's any ambushes or anything, and, they need to see. If 2 people come in with a Marlborough, it's going to be a little suspicious. Thing's a fucking monster. It took a lot to bring it down, so we would at least need a few people. No marked, nothing representing any city or any affiliation. Keep it neutral. It's worth 20,000 gil, and I say we split it at least 50-50.
Well, that's very generous of you. So you've killed the thing, as I remember from the way you smelled when you showed up, and you want someone from our group to deliver and collect the bounty. She kind of
Maybe
looks
not
over.
specifically our group if we can't afford, but someone that we can trust.
She looks over at Marcus. Yeah, I could take care of that, no problem. I got me a couple people I could round up. Hell, I've been meaning to move it south soon anyway. Had some business I wanted to take care of in Elfheim. You know what I mean. Beatrix just kind of rolls her eyes. We always know what you mean, Marcus. Oh, well. So, hell, if I figured I'm heading down into Empire territory anyway, I might as well swing by and pick us up some gil. They don't know me down in Limblum. Won't be a problem.
Perfect. The only thing being if you were to stay in Elfheim, would you be able to meet us halfway between either Calm and Elfheim or Alexandria and Elfheim so we could collect our half of the bounty?
I don't see why not. Deliver the bounty. Meet you there in a... Let's see, walking down, collect the bounty. Probably need about a week. Get it, collect the bounty, get back out there. Pick a spot somewhere. I think that'd work.
All right, I like it.
You gave him the thing, right? I was going to do that when I met him later. Oh, yes, that actually brings me to what I was meaning to talk to you about. And she sets out 2 boxes. She brings them out and sets them down on the counter, or on the table. And as she does this, Freya watches them. Give me an insight check. Or what is your passive insight?
Passive insight is 23, and I rolled 25.
Okay. She watches, and you get the feeling that she disapproves of this. As she just looks at... She takes another drink. Right. So, and she slides you the box on the right, and you open it up, and it is a small pearl earring. Are you familiar with Linkpearls?
What? I know what a pearl is.
Yes, well, this is a Linkpearl. We try to keep them secret. Most people don't. It's not something that's commonly used. Each Linkpearl is connected to a network. That network can communicate freely amongst each other, regardless of distance. This is the one that's specifically utilized for the Golden Grin across various cities. We do try to keep chatter on this to a minimum, so I would advise you not using it often. But all you have to do, she takes it and she kind of pulls her hair back a little bit, and you can see that she's wearing one. Grab it like this. She just kind of indicates like the way to grab it, and then she does just like a small turn with her hand. And there's no like mechanism on it. It's just she grabs it, kind of turns like she's turning something on, and then she does this to turn it off. Do this, speak your message, close the channel. Anyone else with a Linkpearl will hear this. So basically anyone with a Linkpearl in the Golden Grin, which is most of the mid to upper tier. The other box, she slides that to you, and you open that up, and inside that you see what looks to be almost the exact same thing, except there are 5 of them. This is a network that is specifically to this box. Only those with the Linkpearl in this box will be able to communicate back and forth. You mentioned you had some others in your group, yes? I imagine this will make things a little bit easier to communicate, long distances or if you get separated. Only those wearing this Linkpearl will be able to hear and transmit messages.
This is incredible. Thank you.
We may not always show it here in Alexandria, but most of us very, very much appreciate what you've done. Plus, I've also heard of other things you've been doing. I want to aid you in any way I can.
Yes, this will be crucial. I don't know if I didn't properly introduce myself when we last met, but obviously I'm Ava, but I'm ambassador to Cornelia and Queen Sarah's council.
I wouldn't really be in this position if I didn't already know that. But I appreciate the introduction nonetheless. I've heard great things from Cornelia. I've heard great things specifically about you.
Ooh.
Word travels in our circles. Quickly, actually, with these.
Yeah, that's fair.
We've got eyes everywhere. Valum, Massidia. I've been following you for a while, actually.
Oh, that's good. Where do you think I fucked up at? Anywhere? Would you have done anything different?
Everyone
Give me your
fucks up
hot
from
take.
time to time.
I know you have something.
Please, sir, I need an A. What can I do to improve? I need to improve my grade.
Everyone fucks up from time to time. But if I had to say, that bad business with Altair was not... Although I realized that was indirect consequences. Otherwise, things have been going relatively smoothly, from what I understand. Now, of course, we don't have eyes everywhere, so if you did something silly, I don't know, when you went off to the water temple or something, I have no way of knowing that.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
Or if you were to say, I don't know, make some crazy deal with one of the deities you ran into, that would be... I'd have no way of knowing that either, but...
Wild.
Imagine if I did that with all four of them. That'd be wild.
That would be unadvisable.
Yeah.
I don't trust the deities. Regardless, though, we don't hand these Linkpearls out lightly. Don't abuse it. And the private network, that is a personal gift from me. Marcus kind of leans up. I think she's into you. Just so you know. She's not usually this nice to people. She rolls her eyes. Marcus, would you please shut the fuck up? Freya, at this point, says something for the first time. She looks over at Marcus. Marcus, you buffoon. Everyone knows she only has eyes for that ignorant Queen's Guard. And at this, Beatrix just blushes. I actually much preferred it, Freya, when you didn't say anything.
Oh, damn!
Now, considering your offer, I actually think a 50-50 split is quite generous. I would be more than happy to accept this request from you. You did all of the work bringing it down, and Marcus is on board with being able to take it and collect the bounty. I see no reason why. To be honest, I think 50% is generous. But we will definitely take it to help with the reconstruction efforts and the other efforts we have going on. Hopefully by the time you return to Alexandria next time, it will look like a completely different place. With hopefully someone else
Maybe
on
under
the throne.
rule.
That's the hope. Now, is there anything else? Or shall we share a drink before you have to go?
Overthrow the hierarchy, collect a bunch of money. Yeah, no, that's it. I'll reach into my bag of holding and pull out my bottomless flask of whiskey that I haven't used since I bought it. And I'll just say, drink up, it's on me.
Well, that's what I like to hear. All right. And then you all have a nice round of drinking. Marcus did say about a week. And then he said he would meet you halfway between here and Calm. So, and you will be able to communicate with him. He does have a...
Oh, beautiful.
So...
Man, that is sick. Wow.
Yeah. No more sending to one another. Oh, look at that. It only took 14 levels. So, with that, I'm going to say that the rest of you get a long rest.
Thank God.
Excellent.
Your boy needed that.
Yeah. Ava
So
is not
bad.
able to take a short rest, so you can spend the time drinking and chatting and all of that wonderful jazz.
Yeah.
Morning comes. What's the plan? Bazcat, Bailey, you two kind of come to. Brand new day, still in Alexandria. Where are we heading? What are we doing?
To the airship.
To the ship.
Okay.
Yeah. I will probably. How much? I only have a little
Oh.
bit. How much is it usually?
I need to see Steiner first. Sorry.
On the way back
Okay.
to the ship, can I do a quick investigation for a shop that may sell magic items?
Sure, give me an investigation check.
Cool.
I need to know specifically, are you going to look around
I'm
town for this?
actually mad about that. That looks like it's a D20. Anyway,
Are you planning on looking around the city or just kind of looking on your way back to the ship?
I'm looking on my way back to the ship.
Okay. With a
'Cause I'm
14,
like,
you do not find
yeah.
any magic item vendors
Nah,
on
that's
the way
fine.
back.
Bailey is so desperate for something,
Bailey, what
know.
are you?
and he
What
is
the fuck
not
are you
having
looking
any
for?
luck.
Bailey, what are you looking for? Like you're like fucking darting around like you're paranoid. What are you looking for?
Did you end up coming back to the inn after drinking all night?
Oh yeah, I
Oh, he
assume
would
I
have
would probably be there.
he would
when
have
you
had
guys
plenty
wake
of
up.
time, and you guys need like 8 hours to sleep.
Hell
He would have
yeah.
had plenty of time to
Yeah.
get back. Yeah.
Yeah, true. I'm looking for a couple of things, and I've not had any luck in any of the cities that we've been in. Granted, Barlam isn't very big, and
Or
most
magically
of the other
inclined. If that's
towns that
what you're
we've
looking
been
for.
to have not been very large. But I was
Mhm.
kind of hoping to find something here in a bigger city. But I suppose with the reconstruction efforts, it makes things a bit difficult. I'm looking
Yeah.
for a couple of sending scrolls to send
Oh,
word back home. But I'm also looking for something that I've read about in books to help with magical capabilities. I've not really seen it, or if I have, it's not directly, but I've heard that some of the higher up members, or closer to those working with Adonis, would have blood vials to help with their magic things, but
that sounds like voodoo.
let's be honest, when it comes to magic items, most of them are Mojo Jojo. You've heard tale of the Powerpuff Girls, the famous bard song. No, but
Sugar,
most of them.
spice, everything nice. Chemical X.
Most of the higher up mages that are either sent out into the field or are closer to the archmage usually hold ones of varying qualities, and it essentially just makes them a bit more powerful. I don't know, I feel like since I've been working and traveling along with you, I'm starting to realize that the magic is helpful, but I can't help but feel like I'm a little bit less inclined to hurt things.
Hmm.
And if I do, I'm going to make damn sure that it's going to be fucking dead once I'm done. Case in point, the Marlboro.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, you guys fucking literally killed that thing. By the way, I don't know what I did. Honestly, did I even do
you
anything?
were on your back.
I was blind that entire. Okay, that's good.
You
Did
did
I do
great,
anything?
sweetie. Let me
Oh,
tell
okay.
you, the grass underneath you were very happy to be out of the sun.
Fuck yeah.
Doing God's
But no,
work,
I
my
just
friend.
after watching everybody and listening and being a part of a party that works so hard together, like even with Bazcat as well, like you're getting up close and doing all of this stuff, and I'm just kind of standing up to the side, casting a spell, and then hoping for the best. I don't know.
I
I'm
mean,
kind
that's
of trying to
actually
figure
nice.
something out to feel a bit more helpful. Because at the moment, I'm not doing a whole lot, and it's just making me look a bit more suspicious that I keep talking to a fucking... Well, you can finish that sentence on your own. Especially with what we talked about before. I don't know. I feel like I want to be a bit more helpful. And yes, I do know about quickening spell and the whole thing. We talked about that as well with cantrips. I did have to be reminded of that. I do know that now.
Excellent.
But primarily, I would like to find a sending scroll to at least let Shin know that everything's alright. That would be nice. Make sure the kids are okay. And if he can send someone down to help us, we have an entire fucking network of people in Mysidia, and I haven't been able to do anything about it. So, well, granted, I've not been able to do anything about it. Nothing's really been coming through with that side of things. We've been so busy with Alexandria and the Norvalen region. I'm kind of just holding that in my pocket for now, and I also don't want to talk about it because of Adonis. Fear does wonderful things to a person, but fear is also crippling. Anyway, existential crisis aside, I'm ready to continue, so I will meet us back at the ship. Totally forgetting that we're all walking together.
He just walks off, and you're like, "Oh, okay."
It was like 2 steps behind.
So, well,
this person's following me.
Ava does kind of fall behind because you said you needed to talk to Steiner about something.
Yeah.
So Ava remembers that as you start to go on, and then turns on his heel and monk dashes off into the distance. While you're
I'll be
looking
right
for him,
back.
Bazcat, do you have anything you want to do before you head out? A little bit of,
Nope.
harmless regicide or anything? Okay.
I think that I'll just keep that regicide in my back pocket.
Perfect.
For later.
All right. You guys head back to the ship, and I'm gonna say that your Drake goes with them because you're just booking it way too fast.
That's fine. Yeah.
If for some reason you need it, whoa, maybe he can catch up. But you do manage. Steiner's easy to find. He's always around the palace. You won't be able to get in to see the queen. But as you kind of go in, he notices you running around. Ava, is that you?
Oh God, Steiner,
I
there you are.
can't let you in to see the queen again. I'm sorry.
It's
She's
okay.
quite upset from the last time that you talked to her. I don't know what you said to her, but she...
Oh, that's all right. I actually came to find... Fuck, this town is big.
Oh, she did bid me ask you about some kind of Marlboro delivery.
Ah, yes, perfect. See, that's actually what I was here to talk to you about. She expressed her concerns about how much of a burden it would be to her city and upon her own forces to receive 10 to 14,000 gil. So I will be taking the transaction to somewhere that it won't be burdensome.
Oh, I
So if you
see.
wouldn't mind informing her that.
I shall find a way to word that a little more
Much better.
digestibly.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I said it's that way you could understand it, and then she could.
Of course.
I know you can translate better.
I will pass that along and let her know. Are you heading out?
You're,
Are you leaving?
yes, my friends and I will be leaving, so you can also tell your queen
Yes.
that we won't be returning.
I think she will be quite pleased to hear that. I got the feeling that she did not enjoy your last encounter.
Yes, unfortunately.
I wouldn't take it personally. She doesn't enjoy most encounters.
It's good at least.
They tend to interrupt her nap schedule. She has a very rigid nap schedule. I mean, she only takes 3 a day, so she can't miss one of them, or it just messes up her entire afternoon.
Of course, yes.
Passive insight's what?
23.
This dude fucking hates his job. Fucking hates it. He puts on like a good face, and if you weren't so insightful, you'd never know. But as he says that, like when he's saying the 3 naps a day, he says it with the conviction of like, yes, this is how she does it. But just the mere fact that he brought it up, and there's a look in his eye of just, ugh, that you can tell this dude hates his job. But I shall pass that on, and well, best of luck on your travels.
You as well, Steiner. You're an honorable man.
Beatrice.
And we're in times of war. Don't let your honor get in the way of your life.
Give me a persuasion check.
All right.
Those are words to consider. I do believe that a man without his honor is no man at all, but neither is a dead man, so. I wish I had some words of wisdom to pass on to you, but I'm fresh out.
It's all right. Maybe
Just
if we
ran
meet
out.
again, you'll have
Yeah.
something.
I
I used my last compliment on the
Very well. And then there's like this awkward moment where he's just like,
Oh yeah, you're stationed here, right? So I'll leave so
yes.
you can. Yep. My bad.
Have a great have a good one. Yes, of
Yes.
course.
Yep.
Of course. You turn and leave. Him standing awkwardly in the hallway in his stupid little metal shorts. So
And run back to the airship.
perfect.
Tell
You all-
Beatrix I said hi with a wink.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something. I actually thought the whole reason you were looking him down was to mention Beatrix, to be honest.
I'm too much of a shit stirrer.
You make it back, no problem, which is good because they can't go anywhere without you. And get the airship up into the air. Destination Balam. Yes?
Balam. Yep.
All right. I think I still got it.
I just started singing Destination Unknown in my head now. Thanks.
I have an airship sound, but I have to remember to go in and turn off the wind noises.
Oh yeah, true.
There's no wind, and there's so many because
I mean, maybe Ava's making wind noises as he's flying. Whoosh, whoosh.
he just makes. I like that actually. I like that idea. Okay. So taking your time, and actually, let me go ahead. I will reload this back up.
Whoosh.
Is he during our week-long travel or however long it takes? If you wouldn't mind telling Squall we're on the way with sending.
So to that point, you just have to give Marcus a week to make the trek down, do the transaction, and meet you. The trip back to Balam's probably just going to take about 2.5 days.
Oh,
so
okay,
yeah,
fine.
he's on foot. He's on foot, has to get
Yeah,
into town,
that
so you
makes
got to give him about a week. But yeah, you should be able to be there maybe just 2 days in the air. But yeah, you asked what Izzy to send a message?
Mm-hmm.
He does. So Izzy sends a message and lets you know that Squall will be waiting for you when you get there. Anything you need to do in the air? And I assume you're taking a little bit more time to try to avoid Empire territory. I was assuming.
Okay. Bazcat has not been to Cornelia yet, but Bailey has. What was your question, Wolf?
You got 2 days in the air. Is there anything you need to do?
Oh yeah, okay. So at one
It was
point I
very
would pull
vague.
Bailey aside for a quick little conversation. You are going to run into Squall and probably talk to him at some point, naturally. His wife, Renoa, was taken prisoner. And he does not know that yet. And he cannot know this.
Who are you telling this to?
Bailey.
Oh. Oh.
Remind me though,
Yeah.
is Bazcat the only one that knows about the pregnancy?
Bazcat is
Yep.
the only one that
Okay.
knows.
That's what I thought. Okay. Just making sure.
Oh, that was the one.
What?
I was there when Izzy was having a conversation with Squall, and it did sort of come up, but we placated their emotions. He doesn't know. Don't panic too hard. He doesn't know that she's missing. As far as he's concerned, she's currently helping in Sarah's court, which I think is a lot safer of an understanding than, in the clutches of the enemy.
Yeah, no, he literally cannot know. In fact, he literally said that if anything ever happened to Renoa, I would not need to know because I would act not thinking. So those are his exact
Exactly.
words if you needed any reassurance.
Right. So, what do you plan to do then? Because obviously, if something happens, shit's gonna go down. But at this stage, theoretically speaking, it would not be wise to release the information
No.
due to the fact that we aren't quite sure exactly what's going on. Having a small conversation with Adonis before we spoke about it last week, I believe, or the last time before we got off the ship with the Marlborough. I think we had a short conversation about things because I told you that like his lich in the power was like fucking it's a free sending
you
and
freaked
shit.
out about the sending.
Yeah. But essentially speaking, I don't think they're stopping their preparations. But then again, they are probably aware that neither are we. So all this is buying us time. So right now, what I would suggest as a professor in this situation is we don't dawdle in Barlam, and we book it to whichever crystal would hinder them the most. Whether that's fire or earth. Because right now we need to do something about the situation. Alexandria is a bust. And as much as I would like to protect as many people as we can, I'm not opposed to sacrificing something for the greater good. Not as a person, but as a fact of war. Mysidia has stuck out as an outlier for a long time. At the end of the day, we as a people are not opposed to letting someone take the fall to better the future. That's what our studies are. We are planning for a better future. What the fuck Adonis is doing, I'm not sure. Because that's not planning for a future, that's planning for death. But I know eventually when we get to Mysidia, putting Izzy in the leader's chair is probably the best case scenario. Because we know he can handle it. Well, take him a little while, but we know he can handle it. Him and his boyfriend.
That's true.
But Mysidia can wait for now, and we trust that his mother is handling things. Shin is working behind the scenes. The people of the lower classes are getting ready for an uprising themselves. I am sure that we do not need to head there anytime soon, and I am confident in their abilities to get things done. If they needed help, they would ask. So I do believe right now that the plan is to cash in the Marlborough and book it to one of the crystals. Obviously fire is going to hinder the most, but that is also well in their territory, I believe. Last time I looked at a map.
It's not specifically in Empire territory, but it is in the territory of Ravenaster, who is their closest ally.
Cool.
So might as well be.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, Ava, you would know the last time you went into the desert, the
The Marilith or
Marilith.
whatever.
the fiend knew you were there and was like, "Nah, fam."
If I can get a sending to either Shin or insert Izzy's mum's name here, because I forgot. I could probably get us a couple of things that could maybe help. Whether we have to steal the items is a different thing, but it's a group of mages. They have plenty of items of magical properties that could probably help. So I think that's what I'm going to do while we're in Barlam. I'm going to try and get word back there, see if they need help, and if they don't, see if we can procure some things to hopefully give us a bit more strength for the coming battles. That's my plan. But I do think that we should head to one of the crystals. Preferably sooner rather than later while the ceasefire is still happening. Because as soon as we hit one, we know that it's going to start everything. That's the advice of a professor. Bailey himself is absolutely shitting bricks, because I've not done anything like this before, and it is fucking terrifying. However, logic tends to take over in these situations. So, as much as I would like to avoid bloodshed, I am not opposed to Alexandria taking a brunt while we prepare to help them later. And with negotiations, as you said, with Brom not exactly being sympathetic to the cause, perhaps their slight moments of hesitation can afford us a little bit more time. That's my thoughts.
Alright.
But give me some time, I might be able to get us some items. And that is going to be completely on the DM's discretion. But yeah. I'll tell you, like, in the episode, the idea of Bailey trying to get the items is to try and even the odds of losing the job system that we had. So it's kind of like, if he's able to procure, I don't know how to say that word correctly, but if he's able to get some magic items that can kind of boost up each person in a specific way to what they're good with, to try and give us a bit more of an edge moving forward.
Also,
That's
just so
basically
you know,
what Bailey's main idea is.
job system doesn't have to be gone forever.
Yeah, but it's been gone for like 20 episodes, and we're not really making any strides to get it back.
Well, that's not my fault.
I was at one stage going to ask you if Bailey had any thought of, like, had any form of, like, conversation or anything with Shiva, but then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, Bailey would have no idea,
No,
and
Bailey
also
wouldn't have.
not a part of the party. So, like,
Yeah.
he'd have fucking nothing.
No idea.
But yeah, so the idea for it was the fact that Bailey was going to try and send message to either Shin or Izzy's mum to try and send through some, like, powerful items to give us
Items
a
or
bit
the
more
job
help,
system
so-
back would be nice before you get into
Yeah.
some of this enemies that you've made.
Because Michael has been thinking that we need some help, and Bailey is a professor, so he has some sway.
Sure.
But yeah, that's his thought process.
Bazcat.
On and above the table.
What is your passive perception? Oh no, Bazcat. Oh, I thought you froze again.
Oh, yeah, no. Me?
Yeah.
My passive perception. Sorry, I was not part of any of that, so I was like,
Sure.
Sorry.
my life. You're cool. 15.
15 is high enough. The two of them are over there whispering, talking, and I don't know. Would you even care to listen into that?
I had been given instructions to keep an eye on Bailey.
True. Give me an
So I
actual
think-
perception check.
Yeah.
Since they passed the passive perception,
Yeah.
would they
13.
get advantage at all?
13.
damn,
No,
I
not
tried.
really. But in this case,
Mhm.
anyway,
Ah.
sit with me for just a second.
Let him cook.
Those are for two different things. 13, trying to listen into them. You're getting bits and pieces of it.
Mhm.
It is hard. It's a little bit louder up here than you thought that it would be. You know, this is only your second or so time on the airship, no wind, but you're getting bits and pieces, but they don't seem to be talking about anything antebellum or anything like that. But one of the reasons that you can't
Sorry, that was
really,
really funny.
God, is there something in the Discord?
No, just you. We're like, they're not talking about anything anti-Marlem, you know.
Well, I mean
Mainly anti-Alexandria.
that's what she's listening for, or he's
Oh,
listening
that's
for.
funny.
But you get a little distracted towards the end of the conversation when you hear a noise coming from some like boxes and sacks that are kind of piled up in the corner. They've been there the whole time, but you definitely think you heard something.
I'm for sure gonna go check that out.
Okay. As you walk over to it, you think you see a little bit of movement, but then it stills.
There's like a sack or something kind of moving?
Yeah, so there's like over on the side, there's a couple boxes and a couple sacks. You kind of just assume there was grain or something in them. But at this point, something was moving, but it's as you clunk over, it very, very obviously stills.
Yeah, I'm for sure. I had this thought where I was just gonna like take Boyamak and just sort of like swing at it, but I'm not gonna do that. So, but what he is gonna do is probably just like rip open the bag if they're like try to like, you know,
Okay.
expose grandeur like you did in the in the court.
In the queen's room,
Rip
yeah.
open the,
Pull everything down.
Hey,
Okay.
it worked that time. Why wouldn't it work this time?
Perfect. Exactly. And in similar fashion, you walk over, you grab it, and in you grab one end and the other, and then with one fluid motion, just rip this bag in two. And also,
Hell yeah.
very similar to the previous time, as it pulls forward, you see Garnett, who has stowed away, who's just looking up at you. Hello.
Hello. Looks like we got a little stowaway.
Is
Looks
this
like I didn't
can Bailey and I see this?
Okay,
Or is
listen,
this
I can
down here?
explain. At this point, you can see it. Yeah, because this is happening towards the end of your conversation. So at this point, you see.
Actually,
Yeah, go ahead.
can I pick her up by like the scruff of her neck, like the back of her shirt, and like, cause she's smaller, right? I'm a big dude.
You're big, so she's like 19, so she's an adult, but you're still a Galka, a huge Galka. So yes, you can still pick her up because you count as one size larger, right?
What
Yep.
am I carrying? Yeah. Yep.
Just grab her by the screw. Hey, put me down. Ugh. Listen, I can explain, okay? Can you put me down, please? And at this point, the two of you also notice this girl that you recognize. Bailey, give me
I have no idea who this person
Yeah, Bailey.
is. Maybe a history?
Give me a history check. Yes.
Okay.
That's what we'll see.
See if I've heard anything in the books about a 24. I think I know who this
You-
person
yes.
is. I've not met
I was
them.
going to say, you would know Queen Braun has a daughter, but to be specifically who it is, yes, you know this is Garnett Tel Alexandros of Alexandria. And she's
Love it.
kicking and screaming. And she's like, put me
I would-
down, please. This hurts. This
I would
hurts. This
probably
really
like
hurts.
take a couple steps towards Ava and Bailey, and then put her down gently. But I'm not a monster. I'm just big.
Thank you.
You just look like one right now.
Cat is good at two things: strong and stronger.
Strong and not intelligent.
Yeah.
Your Majesty, what the hell are you doing on our ship? Respectfully.
Well, I heard that you were leaving, and with the conversation that you had with my mother, I'm sick and tired of sitting around waiting for her to get off of her lazy ass and do something. So I figured that I would act as an envoy to Balam or wherever you're heading to let them know that there are people in Alexandria that agree with them. That my mother doesn't speak for all of us.
Right. Okay. First of all,
How
a
far
pleasure
away
to
are
make
we
your
from Alexandria?
acquaintance.
You're about halfway
A
at this
young
point.
princess. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Princess Garnet. Lovely to meet you. Second
You
of all,
too?
you know how reckless that is, yes. Like, regardless of the
Well,
good intentions, you know that you probably didn't quite think this entirely through.
she kind of crosses her arms. I've given this plenty of thought, actually. I've heard of you all before. I know your deeds. I know what you've done. And I heard the things that you said to my mother. We have a similar goal.
So you thought to stow away and leave?
Yes, well, I didn't expect to get caught this soon. I thought we'd make it to Alexandria. I thought I was hidden a little bit better than that, but that pretty much is it, yes. And she's just got her arms crossed, and she's got this challenging look on her face. There are parts of her, Ava, that remind you of Sarah, but much younger and much more naive. Like, much more. You can tell where Sarah had an upbringing that was still focused on her being royalty and watching her king make bad decisions, but still she has a mind for tactics. This person's led a more sheltered life, so she's coming from the same kind of emotional stance, but with a totally different outlook on life. I mean, I'm not wrong, am I? You want to do something about the Empire. You need Alexandria. I
There's a
can't do
difference
anything
between...
while my mom sits on the throne. I have to... This is how I can do something.
Yes, and I respect your thought process. I do. But you also need to understand the other side of things. Being a decision maker doesn't exactly entail only the good side of things. So I want to ask you, as a royal, not as a young lady, have you thought through the consequences in case something were to happen due to your mother acting out, not knowing where her daughter is?
My
As a
mother...
royal, not as a young lady.
My mother never acts for anything. It doesn't matter if I'm missing. She never acts. She would maybe have that Steiner fellow look around the castle for me, but then she would just give up and go take a nap.
So you genuinely do not believe that your mother would want to act irrationally if her daughter was to, say, be considered to be stolen or kidnapped and taken to a foreign city?
I don't.
Insight check.
Inside check.
Can I do an insight check
All three of you
in a
can if you want to.
different sense?
Oh, nice. 18.
Brilliant.
All right.
Okay.
What were you trying to do? 18's still pretty good for Bascat. I think even
18's still
Bascat.
Yeah,
One
for Basket, I was just literally holding her, so I'm pretty insightful.
She's like my baby now. I know what she's doing.
While Baz and Ava are probably doing the insight to like check their motives and stuff, I want to do an insight as a dad whose one of their daughters is 20, which is Grace. And I want to do more an insight into her and doing the similarities between Grace and Garnet. So as a dad, kind of just understanding their words and how they've gone, and like Grace did the same thing when she was a teenager and she was a pain in the ass, whatever, and like hopefully having the insight or the understanding to like be able to properly relate to and talk to her about
Gotcha.
the situations.
First of all, we'll hit the other one. The 23 and the 18, both high enough. She's genuinely not sure. She answers with that conviction, but part of her thinks that her mom might, but there's also a small part of her that actually believes her mom doesn't give a shit and wouldn't do anything. So it's not so much that she's lying, it's that she doesn't really know the answer. That's just based on her hesitation, based on just the way she takes a minute and you can see her eyes kind of moving, you get the feeling that she's not sure. As far as your insight, she's acting a little bit more like your daughter did when she was a little younger.
Yeah.
You think that the way that you've brought up your children is different. You've brought your children up with love and understanding, and you've been there for them. Whereas she's more had a very absent, very cold mother. And she seems to be acting a little more immature than you would expect of your daughters. And what'd you get, a 26?
It was a nat 20, yeah.
Okay. You've raised a daughter past this age. You're getting the feeling that she doesn't have an outlet for some of the emotions that she feels. She doesn't have that person she can really talk to. She's a princess, she's been doted on. She probably doesn't have a lot of friends, and she can't go to her mother. So yeah, she's probably frustrated and doesn't really know what to do with all those emotions, and she's just ready to do something.
Yeah.
And she's being reckless for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
But also, Garnet ran away in Final Fantasy IX, so I had to keep with the reference. So
True.
I'm actually surprised you didn't see
Creeping up
this.
the numbers.
Surprised you didn't see this coming though. Like,
I knew it was coming. I played the games. I was just surprised you didn't give us Zidane as well. No, I'm kidding.
he's somewhere.
Who cares? Freya's
I can't
best
make
girl
soloists that happy.
True. He's not watching this.
I know, big
He
jerk.
would have let you know.
He would have let us know by now.
He would have let you know. Bailey is just gonna kind of just be watching, and then he's gonna cross his arms and put on just the dad voice.
No, not the dad voice.
And just like looking down at Garnet and like looking in how she's doing things, and just
She's standing very defiantly, by the way, arms crossed, like looking at you, like, "What are you gonna do?" Exactly like that.
I was an 18-year-old girl once.
I agree with you in the sense that something needs to be done. I do agree with that. I don't agree with the course of actions of which you believe is the correct one, because there are always many other ways to do things. Just because you don't have an outlet as a princess doesn't mean you can act irrationally and make other people worry. Because it's not just going to be your mother and Steiner, there's going to be other people. What about the people that look after you? Do you have a nanny? Do you have a nurse?
They'll have some free time.
And the people that raised you may not be your mother, but do you have someone close to you? Who looks after you when your mum's not around?
Well, nobody. I'm 19. I don't need anybody to look after me.
So nobody in your entire life growing up has ever...
Everyone that may have filled that role has since gone on, since I no longer need caring for. I was nothing but a job to them. Anything I may or may have not felt. 18
years and treats it as a job. You get attached.
Unless you spend
Everybody
18 years
gets
working
attached.
for my mother.
Yes, but your mother's a bit of a cunt, is what I've learned. But at the same time,
she smiles.
Nobody looks as a father to 3 girls. Nobody raises a child, even temporarily, and doesn't get attached. There are always going to be people that will feel upset or sad to hear that something has happened. So, in saying that, as I said, I have raised 3 girls. I know what you're going to be like. You're not going back, regardless of what people do.
Well, I'm glad we're both
So I will
agreed on
make
that.
I will make you a deal. Alright? You can come with us. But you need to be careful and you need to listen. It's all well and good to be an appointee of a foreign nation, wanting to do well. but you also don't know a lot about of the world. So I want you to promise me, one, obviously you're not going to get in trouble, young lady.
She rolls her eyes so hard at you.
Uh,
And
And you're
two,
going to stay with me for now. The rest of the trip, we're going to be reading books and learning about the foreign nations. You can't do much else up here. At the very least, I want you to read about Barlam, which is where we're going. So that way when you get there, you're going to have a little bit of an understanding of where they are in a sense of their political disposition.
give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
I think Bazcat should now get advantage on Garnet stealth check.
24. That's a 19.
You're watching
plus
her,
one.
you can have advantage on any like tracking checks for her. She's for lack of she's like low key hunter's marked.
Low key. Yeah,
24.
19 plus 5, so 24.
So you're not turning the ship around.
No, why would we do that? We have
We
other
had-
stuff to do.
We have a deal.
Right.
Well,
Well,
oh well, then this worked out. It's much nicer out here than it is in that sack. Does anyone
So
have any
just out of
food?
curiosity, do you here have a berry?
Ugh,
That sounds insulting, but eat it. Trust me.
it's good.
It's very good. And I'm gonna give her one of the chocobo berries.
That is rather nice. Oh, and I'm not hungry anymore.
Yes, magic.
Oh.
Magic is bullshit,
fascinating.
but it's good stuff.
So do you just never want to return to Alexandria, or because
No,
I need to think of a plan with this.
No.
It will
That's
eventually.
that's not my intention. I want to go home. I mean, that's my home.
Good.
But we've spent so many years just walled up, and my mother seems to have no indication that she's going to do anything. Even when the Empire came knocking on our door, she sat and did nothing.
Mm.
I can't take it anymore. I've been living under that roof for 19 years. I'm allowed to do anything. The only friend I have is that stupid guard she has with the stupid shorts. I need this. I think Alexandria needs this. We've got to do something. Apathy just doesn't cut it anymore. But I appreciate you letting me come along. I knew if I asked, you would say no, so my plan was to just hide out until we got where we were going and be like, surprise! Can't take me back now.
I mean, I could. Quite easily. I can teleport us there, take a rest, and then teleport back. But I understand.
You do that and I'll tell them you kidnapped me and that you're with the Empire.
Oh, sweetheart, you don't know
Damn.
that's what you're talking about.
I know a
As
little bit
far
more
as
than you
most of the
think.
world is, as far as most of the world and the people around here are concerned, I already am. So you wouldn't be saying anything new.
I'd be saying a lot
I'm
of
trying
things
to
new
change
to whoever
that.
you're trying to drop me off with. My mother might not care, but you were right. There are some people that would take very ill to thinking I'd been kidnapped.
I am aware. And yet, the question to you is then, are you going to say that every foreign nation is part of the Empire, or are you just going to say the Empire? Because then that means that Alexandria would then have a fight with Lindblom. And we both know how that worked with the tale of the Dark Knight.
My mother still won't act against the entire nation. I do think they'll act against one lone defector, or whatever you are.
Who has direct contact with people? Garnet, this is going to be lesson 1. Lesson 1 is don't make assumptions of people you don't know.
I'm not making any assumptions.
Really, because you stowed away on a ship because you were upset that you weren't being treated well by Mother Dearest.
Well, that's not an assumption, first of all.
That's true.
And I'm a little bit more learned than you think, and I know who you are.
Good. Then you
You
can
know who I
announce
am?
it to people
I
so
think
I
that
don't have to.
I do think that my assertion that you're associated with the Empire, I think we all know, isn't an assumption either.
Oh, I've not exactly made it secret.
Just saying it wouldn't
But
look
there's a
very good.
difference between having something in another city that has contact with the people they're against. As long as you're playing the field of a double agent, well, shit usually goes better. Would you rather have no understanding of who you're up against, or would you rather have some inkling to be able to better withstand their forces? Hence why, since you're going to be coming with us anyway and you're going to be around, the ceasefire is there to stop both forces from attacking each other outright.
Really
Both
think that
sides have powerful ideas and powerful ways to fight a war.
now who's being naive? How long do you really think the Empire is going to honor that,
I already
Mr.
know they're
Double
not.
Agent? So what are we
But
waiting
they
for?
don't know what we have.
And what is that?
Something that you will learn over time. We have books to read, young lady. You keep up your end of the promise. And I might tell you more about what we're doing.
Pun intended, but she is staring daggers at you right
Oh,
now.
yeah! They're not gonna get that pun. I got you. I got you.
Fine. She just kind of stomps off.
As soon as she leaves and she's like off in one of the rooms and out of earshot, Bailey's gonna look at Ava and Bazcat and Izzy and be like, I think I just got another daughter.
There's an entire organization inside of Alexandria that wants to see her on the throne, and now she's in their airship. So that's good.
That's why I was trying to mention the whole there are people that are going to be upset.
Yep.
I know what it
At least
seems
she's safe here.
so much more fun this way.
Arguably speaking, she's in the safest position she can be. But
I mean,
as soon as anything happens, I am teleporting her ass back into the city.
We can at least keep her safe here if there's any unrest. I think we might have stirred up some pots while we were there, so.
Yep. Yep.
She might
Oh,
have
by
been
the way, I have
endangered
gifts
with
for you
one.
guys.
Oh,
Yes, and I'll pull out the two, I guess 3, but I'll tell Ace next week the internal Pearl links, and I'll demonstrate how to use them like Beatrix did.
Cool.
Okay,
interesting.
so I don't have the item for you just yet in D&D Beyond, but it is a Linkpearl. It does not require attunement. So,
Ooh, nice.
Hell yeah.
but what that does mean is if you lose one, they'll have access to your network. So there's a double-edged sword there.
That's very true.
So, but it does not require attunement, so you don't have to sleep up a slot. But yeah, and then you basically have unlimited sendings amongst you. No 25 character limit. So you can talk when you're split up.
Oh,
So,
love it.
so with that, the days go by as you bring yourself into Lindblom. You can have your long rest now too, Ava, since it would have been more than a day.
Yay!
As you bring yourself, down to Balam.
There we
Yeah, I
go.
was about to say, we ain't going to
Yeah.
Lindblom.
Yeah, no,
Let's say, if we're going to Lindblom, there's going to be
Well,
bombs
We're gonna
or
be
something,
delivering the
because-
princess
yeah.
right
the
to justice.
the DM says you're going to Lindblom. Yeah, as you bring yourself into Balam and land, I assume you're making your way. At this point, you would probably land early morning on the 3rd day. So 2 nights in the air, landing early morning. Straight to meet up with Squall?
Yes.
Okay. Easy enough to find. You've been here. Actually, I think everybody's been here a bunch now. Bailey, this is your first time?
This is my second time.
Second time, okay. Bazcat, you would be familiar with it just because you've been working with Squall quite extensively.
Yeah.
Easy enough to make your way towards the presidential palace. The guards let you in straight away. And then there's you go up and just knock on the door. Squall opens it, and he's got his normal look on his face. Oh, let me kill the airship noise. Sorry. He's got his normal look on his face, that serious, almost brooding. You made it. Welcome back. I've
Thanks.
got news for you. Any news from Alexandria?
Well, this is
Question being, what are you doing
Princess.
with? Oh, you bringing her with you? Okay.
This is Princess Garnet.
Yeah, I'm keeping her close to me. She's Bailey has gone into dad mode.
Did you all kidnap the Princess of Alexandria?
No. I can't
She
believe you
kidnapped
thought that of
herself.
us, Squall. I don't know how I feel about that, actually.
I don't.
Because, like, at one hand, that's kind of a compliment, but on the other hand, that's kind of like...
Well, Ava, you did ask me where I kept the orphans the first time we met, so...
You did what?
Don't worry about it. I'm a very kind soul.
It was a innocent
Bailey's
enough
gonna like put a hand over
misunderstanding,
Garnet and
but
like push her back a little bit.
not something you forget easily.
Yeah. I'm terrible with words.
I have something I do need to tell you. We had a delivery show up here about a day ago now. He kind of looks over, and his eyes meet Izzy's. Grunthor's wife and son were teleported to the teleportation circle outside of Balam. Alone. And then he kind of looks back and makes eye contact with you. Give me an insight check.
Can we all do it? Or is it just Ava?
It's Ava, specifically.
Alrighty, Michael gets ready with Tides of Chaos. Michael is not using Tides of Chaos.
19.
Actually,
He locks...
Michael is going to bend luck, so you can roll a d4. A 1d4.
Okay, go for it.
That should at least guarantee a 20. Hell yeah. 23.
23. First, however, he looks at you, and there is this blazing fury in his eyes. As the door kind of gets pushed open, and between his legs, Angelo runs out and leaps up on you, just starts licking. Where the fuck is my wife? And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Jesus.
Angelo was made it back. Yeah, Angelo made it back.
Damn it, Angelo! Why did you leave Cordelia, Angelo? Fuck.
Was that like a Homeward Bound situation?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, this is
yes,
good.
Angelo. Angelo was left back in Cornelia, unattended, without Renoa, and being a dog, being a very, I mean, he's kind of a magic dog, right?
Familiar, yeah.
Dog Brain said, I gotta go to my spare human. I gotta go to my spare human.
Yep.
So
My spare human. I'm telling Squall about that.
So that's where we are. And because Izzy was not here, I did the roll. You know, I've been making him roll for how things are going over in the Beastlands. I did the roll for him at this. Remember when I said, when one of you, never mind, I'll do that later. I didn't want to take it. I didn't want to put it on anybody else, so I did the roll. Yes, so they're back, but Hikael is not. So we're gonna have to stop there because Izzy definitely has to be here for whatever comes next. Yeah. So recap: you kidnapped a princess.
We did not.
Squall just found out. Now, the fury you saw. Just what was your 24? You don't know who it's directed at. If it's directed at you all, or if it's just directed at the fact that, you know, the Empire. I will warn you, talking him off this ledge is not going to be easy.
Yep.
So we will see what happens. I mean, it's totally possible. In this game, anything can happen, but I will just tell you it will not be easy. So shit might hit the fan.
Oh boy.
All right.
No, I was just not once did anybody think, "Oh, Angelo, it's gonna be fine."
Oh,
So,
I
like-
figured he was gonna be like a good boy and stay with Sarah, or like be like, oh yeah, there's Balam troops here, I'll go, they're I know these people. Yeah, I figured
He's like a high
But
functioning
no,
familiar, really.
he's
So
yeah, he's like a druid familiar, kind of, I assume.
pretty much, yeah.
We can spin
Yeah.
this. We can spin this.
So
Oh no, I
We can
Ava's already
spin
got
this.
plans. Yep, I already know what I'm gonna say.
so yeah,
Aw.
and then you all need to make it. So which crystal you going after next too? You need to make that decision. So
Yeah, we need to
I
decide.
really think we need to hit one of those up
See, I don't. I
sooner
don't know.
rather than later, because at the
Wait.
moment
I don't know.
both.
I think we need to do one just so we can do a dungeon crawl because Bazcat I can tell he's chomping at the bits. He just wants to crawl
What's
those
the
dungeons.
dungeon?
He just wants to crawl those dungeons.
I just want to hit something so bad.
No, I'm sorry. So I probably should have
I'm
warned
not-
you. This game is primarily RP.
That's
But-
cool. No
Yeah,
worries. It's fine.
War
It's fun.
games are really RP heavy.
But at the same time, the fights also get very intense. So I don't do
Oh,
fights
yeah.
often, but they're all like super hard boss fights. That's
great.
why I
love
gave
it.
them jobs that I then ripped away from them because they pissed off their god.
That Nozak pissed off after dying.
Oh yeah. Nozak pissed off
fun.
their deity so bad she's like, "Fuck you! I revoke my favor from your whole party."
Yeah.
No. But it's really fun to play a very stupid character in these situations. For lots of reasons. Number one, because I can be the voice of the people who maybe like the audience who maybe doesn't get it. And then also because I don't get it. But also, a little bit of like, break in the intensity.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
we
at
have-
this point, it's hard at like 62 episodes because if you jump in now, that's why I like said, okay, I started putting like the Norvalen arc and I'll do that at the
Ooh.
start of the next arc. Like this is a good jumping on point. But yeah, at 62 episodes, if you try to just watch this one, you're probably like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, seriously.
There's enough
Thing
Final
is,
Fantasy
with
references.
that as well, though, like if you would have watched the last episode, you'd have no idea what's going on. If you would have watched 10 episodes before that, you'd be like, "How the fuck did they end up over there?" You watched
True.
20 episodes before that, you're like, "What? How would the? What
This
do
is
you
a serial
mean?"
show. You can't come in and come out. You got to stick with it. Although that's most RPG games, really. You miss like 10 episodes,
True.
you're like, what the? That's why I got so behind on Critical Role, I just gave up. Like I can't catch up at this
Mhm.
point.
I have
Like,
not started. I am
No.
not game enough to try.
I'm waiting for whatever campaign 4 at this point. Anyway, that was whatever episode of Kupo Quest this is because I lost track. Thank you.
60-something.
Like 61,
60. I
62?
think it's 61 or 62. I can't remember.
You know what? Let me just have a look on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I could have done
Um,
that, but it seemed too simple. So
We are on level
Um,
level 62. We're on episode 62.
62. Perfect. So, reminder, we are pretty much back this week. We took a little bit off for the holidays last week. So tonight, Kupo Quest is over. Wednesday, we're back with the fourth episode of our first heist in Golden Vault. And then this week is Temptations. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll finally be back with Dragonbane next week. And
Oh, I'm gonna miss it.
oh, you're out all week, aren't you? Oh yeah, it's
World
gonna be
tour.
that's gonna be a big one too, because you may have unleashed hell on Earth.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
yeah,
yeah.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
It's been a while since we played
Lamau.
Dragonbane. When you
Yeah,
do
I know,
a
I love.
fortnightly game and you miss a week, you waited a whole month. So, but yeah, so all that's still going on, and catch us next time. Those will be the main three things this week. So, lally ho, friends! Thank you all for tuning in, and see you next week.